Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Kevin Pollo here. Today, we're going to be going over the cryptocurrency market, and I wanted to talk about a specific chart called the Bitcoin dominance chart. In order for us to get a better understanding of Bitcoin and where it's been and where we are now, we need to understand the dominance of it, right? How much of the Bitcoin market cap dominates the entire cryptocurrency market. This is going to give us a lot of information about opportunities available in altcoins, so altcoins that aren't Bitcoin, and then maybe possibly seeing when those moments that we can see a pump in those markets will be. Mainly right now, the data that we're seeing is indicating a possible um, bull market, right, for everything else but Bitcoin. And I'm going to explain why in a couple minutes. But I will talk a little bit about the past and where we've come from. So from when this data set started being printed here on this chart, we have it from 2013. Eventually, right, over the course of time, we saw that Bitcoin started off at around a 95% dominance rate. And we would fluctuate between 98 and 95 for a while before eventually making our lows at 77. So from making lows at 77, right, we then made it to 94%. We would come back to 77. Then we would make lower highs at around 91 and continue to do this for the next couple of years, right up until 2017, when the 2017 bull market started. Now, breaking this trend line right here was really significant because once we broke that line, we saw a massive drop of from 82% all the way to as low as 37%. Now, this was the whole bull run. What happened? A lot of money was going into Bitcoin at the same time as money was going into other currencies, right? But because there was attention around the cryptocurrency market at that time and people were making such massive gains, people saw that the alternative coin market had a lot of opportunity too. So while the Bitcoin price was going to 20,000, everything else was having a lot of money allocated to it. And eventually, when these altcoins, I guess, quote unquote, failed, some of them did, some of them didn't. But when that pullback eventually happened, Bitcoin went to retracement of around 67%. And then we dropped back to around 33. And then right before that last peak, we saw Bitcoin eventually over the course of the next 2.5 years, it started making higher highs in the dominance chart. So remember, when the dominance chart goes up, it means that everything else is losing value and Bitcoin is gaining more dominance over the market. The highest we ever saw that dominance get back up to, though, was 71%, 72%. As you can see, we did that multiple times, 1, 2, and 3 back in 2019, going up until 2021. We did have a little bit of consolidation here throughout that process of throughout the process of going up throughout the time of 2018 to 2019. And then, ultimately in 2021, when that, once again, that bull market, 2020, 2021, when that bull market started, the dominance rate changed again. And we started to reduce the amount of dominance that Bitcoin had over the market because altcoins started getting more attention and more money started flowing into these coins. So Ethereum started seeing a lot more money and it had a higher market cap that was getting a lot closer to the Bitcoin market cap overall. And so over the course of the next couple of months, really within that year, 2021 going into 2022, that market cap dominance dropped to 38%. And then of course now we've seen this market funnel multiple times, and the biggest rejections have come from around the 45%. Now, what I can say is that I really don't think that Bitcoin is going to become that big holding that everybody thinks it's going to become. It's very possible that Bitcoin will, gain more market share as the time goes on. But remember, you can't forget that the influence of Ethereum and what it has in the cryptocurrency economy is too big for this number to be pushed right back up to around 71 or 72%, in my personal opinion. Oftentimes specifically because we're dealing with a percentage, right? These aren't orders. We're not talking about orders or people buying and selling this market. This chart is representing percentage. So it's not like we have a lot of money or any type of money at all sitting up here. It's really just indicating for us that over time, the trend of the dominance has been going down. And that's really what's been happening if we look at it from a longer term time frame. If you set up a chart, right, or kind of like a, not a chart, but like a line, right? from this point here where we first started, and you have like a medium range line that you follow throughout the entire time that Bitcoin is getting to where it is now, right? So maybe we set it like around here. We do have a lot of moments in which Bitcoin does drop below the line, go and hits the line, and then drops below the line, and then goes above the line. Ultimately, the line, it does respect the line, and so this average line that we see here, right, that we can kind of create more or less, this one, it's really clear, and it tells you it's going down. The overall dominance of Bitcoin is going down, but that's only because the rest of the markets are going up in value. So nothing too concerning, but something to keep in mind, because as we reject 45% and dominance goes down, that means other coins are going to be receiving a lot of money. So now that we're on that conversation, let's talk a little bit about Ethereum, right? Here I have a chart that represents Ethereum and Bitcoin. And this chart right here, it's really cool because I've been following this chart for a while, and I'm going to look at it from the 3-day time frame. From the 3-day time frame, we were looking since 2020 that Ethereum was making higher highs, right, in comparison to Bitcoin. So this is your ROI performance from Ethereum versus Bitcoin. That's the best way you can put it. So when the chart goes up, that means that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. And if you can see the median line for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, it's going in an upward angle. So Ethereum is gaining some momentum versus Bitcoin. And this is one of the main reasons as to why that dominance price is going down. So as long as this chart continues to trend upwards, we're more than likely going to see that dominance rate go down for Bitcoin. And as long as other charts, like charts like maybe the Polygon chart, possibly the Avalanche chart, right, as more people begin to adopt on those blockchains, Solana, the same thing will continue to happen, right? More ecosystems are being built. Bitcoin isn't going to be the biggest player, or even though it will be the biggest player, right? There are bigger players there are big players in the party as well. So since 2020, like I was saying, Ethereum price over Bitcoin has been making higher highs. And a very big focus for us was the 0.85%. It was a 0.085 price level from ETH to BTC. And we actually failed to break this area, right? We failed to fill this gap right here, where we had created highs originally, right before this big dip. This was a target that we all wanted to see come back, the market come back to. And before we saw that happen, right, the market actually attempted to come back to 0.085, but it failed to make it to that line. And then I thought that this market was going to come and fill this gap. That's where we created this fill this gap box. We eventually did, and now that we've filled this gap, we will probably see Ethereum go very, very down over the next couple of months. In connection to the overall market, right? In connection to Bitcoin and in connection to the rest of the market. So I would probably see Ethereum maybe testing this line, coming back to around this level or this level, and then from there pushing back up. I think this level right here has the most significance. These two, so these two levels will be probably the ones that will get hit right there, and then possibly this level. So we'll just stay patient. We'll see what happens, but overall, it is something to keep in mind. Ethereum versus Bitcoin may have a possible pullback very, very soon. Now, with that being said, right, let's actually talk about some charts. Let's go ahead and talk about price. We've talked a little bit about what we anticipate for Ethereum, possibly going down. Bitcoin losing dominance, meaning it may also go down. All in all, we're in that bear market. But let's go to TradingView. And let's talk a little bit about the charts that we look at every single day or every other day, and see what we got from the market this week. So to begin, Bitcoin price still going down. Excuse the lag. Right, so Bitcoin price still going down. We are trading below this demand zone. and on a weekly level, we can't seem to um, respect it, right? So what I'm assuming here is, as we said, right, that bounce that we were expecting, we got. We tested this red zone, as you can see perfectly, hit it. We haven't made it to this imbalance level that is a possible zone for the market to retrace to, but 46,000 seemed like enough for the market to continue going down. So that for me was a good sign, rejecting here at 46,000 and then continuing. So what I think now is that this demand zone is probably going to become some type of supply level because of the closure we had on the weekly level here on Sunday. So what I would like to see is for a rejection here at 30 to 40,000 over the next couple of weeks as the market tries to level out. We may come back to test, like I said, this imbalance, but I would preferably like to see this as a supply level. So we'll go ahead and leave that there as a supply level in red. And that creates a second target for us, which would be somewhere here around 30,000. I won't be talking about that right now. I just want to talk about what price did in anticipation of what we were expecting. In that case, it was rejecting 46,000. We did, and we're back on the downward move. If we start going below this trend line, it's pretty much guaranteed. We're going to go ahead and make our way back down towards 30,000. Ethereum still trading below 3,000. Yeah, still trading below 3,000. So here's a pretty interesting thing, right? The two levels that we were looking at are 1 day closure at around 3,000. It didn't technically get invalidated, but it did go above, and it struggled a little bit there for about a day or two. But we did end up making it towards 3,273, which just so happened to be that nice long inverted hammer candle. So this hammer candle right here pushed the market down, and when we got back to it again, we saw that again we rejected it. So remember, when you see a wick like this, it indicates selling pressure, and when it closes in this formation, you know that this area right here is going to be an area that the market's probably going to want to reject. So as you can see, we did do that. We couldn't even make a higher high, and now we're trading below our demand zones. And this for me, once again, is going to turn into a supply level. So I would expect here, if market does trade below and then come back and test this area, it's going to be a supply level. Market doesn't seem to be able to hold at these prices, and that's 100% okay. We have failed to make higher highs. We're still following this downtrend. Still very bearish on Ethereum. Hex, I was speaking a little bit about it the other day, and Hex right now, I do think that we can possibly bounce from this area and maybe continue in towards the higher like 20s, maybe 30 cent price range right here where we created this lower high, and then possibly extend to these higher highs. But right here where we're at in this demand zone, I think we can bounce from aggressively. Now, if we fail to for whatever reason, right, what I've done is I've already invested some money. If we choose to break this level and go lower, maybe towards where our head is of this shoulder, of where our head is of this inverted head and shoulders, then I'll go ahead and invest more. And if we end up making it all the way to 0.06 to 0.07 cents, I'll, of course, reinvest even more. So that's just something to keep in mind, guys. That's what I have like on Hex. These are my demand levels. I'm just super bullish on it. I do think Hex will be outperforming the rest of the market while the market's in a downtrend. We've seen it do it before. While Ethereum was down like 60% or 50%, Hex was up like crazy amounts of money, which was during this run. And so that just goes to show us how uncorrelated Hex is from Bitcoin. Mina USDC, we caught that beautiful retest towards the $3 price level, and we exited from our final 10% position, 20% of our position. So as you guys remember, I said I was going to close 20% of my position, which I did. Let me go ahead and move, actually, guys, so I can put this thing to charge before it turns off on me. I actually went ahead and removed that 80% of my position, and what I also did was I decided to remove that final 20%, completely removing my risk in Mina. Just because if we do start a bear market, we will probably see lower levels get tested below our lows of $1, and I don't want to be involved in a market that has me down 80-90%. I would much rather take my money out, hold my money with me in liquid cash, and then go ahead and reinvest it at a later time. So that's my opinion on Mina. Solana, As you can see, rejected $120 perfectly, guys. Like, these levels that we're forming are beautiful and they're respecting. We just need the patience to see it through. Next level that we would probably get to, of course, is going to be $80. So we'll probably see $80 come and get hit again very soon. But I don't think this W formation is going to respect. I probably anticipate a $58 move. Over here, Dent on the weekly level. If we go to the weekly time frame, okay, as you can see, once again, one of those nice hammer formations. Dent probably has some bearish movements coming very, very soon. We rejected this level here at around 0.007, rejected twice, formed the bottom, respected it a couple times, traded below it, retested it, and now we are pushing below this weekly support level. As you guys can see, with this weekly candle is a perfect indication for a downward move. Let that be known that this market is probably going to drop much lower than where we see it at. It will look a little bit like the decentralized coin. I'll talk a little bit about that later, but yeah. FTT, same thing. This bullhorn pattern is getting all the traders involved in FTT right now. As you can see, we are respecting it still. Probably going to make our way towards $24 real soon. Uniswap couldn't respect this 3-day support level. So what I want to do, let me go to the 3-day. Yeah. So what I want to do is I'm going to extend that. Perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this red, because if we, for whatever reason, get back to this area, we're probably going to reject it. I do think this is a supply level where if market comes here, there is way too much orders, way too many orders that people, right, don't want to essentially hold, and they think price might go down lower, that they're going to reject from. We did see a rejection here. Price couldn't even pass 13 cents. There's no interest above $13. So, you know, we'll just see, but this is my support level right here, which we haven't even come back to. We'll just stay patient. ANC, guys, remember we were talking about ANC here with Terra Luna, with their blockchain. We broke this channel. Market completely fell to $1.30. We were waiting for under $1 to be able to get our positions in. But we do have a very strong rejection at around the 50% retracement level from the beginning of this run over here. And I think we're probably going to reject these levels at around the 50 or the 61.8 and then make our way lower than $1.26. That's just what I believe. Hopefully we get this move from ANC, but there seems to be a lot of excitement around this project in the Terra Luna space. And once again, because this is a stable coin pegged to the US dollar, or really connected to the US dollar, because ANC isn't, ANC isn't a stable coin. So let me just clarify that statement. So ANC is a coin, right, that has a lot of connection and liquidity through a UST dollar, right? And because that connection to the UST is so aggressive as compared to, for example, if you wanted to buy ANC, you would have to buy through Ether. If you wanted to buy, you would have to buy through another coin. Because it's so connected to that dollar, it's actually price independent from any other coin. So if Bitcoin goes down or up, if ETH goes down or up, or anything goes down or up, it may affect the market, but the price would be almost uncorrelated because it has no liquidity connected to it. We call that Hart's Law, okay? That concept is referred to as Hart's Law, where, you know, the liquidity of something, if it's mainly pegged to something stable like $1, it will be decorrelated to any other asset class that might be correlated to it, less than the dollar value that it's correlated to. So, a little bit complicated, but just something you want to know, right? These are all very important concepts. Rune. Rune right now around that 1-day demand level. Hopefully we can hold it, just for the sake of everybody holding Rune. I'm not holding any right now, but we may end up breaking this level. You know, bear market vibes. XRP, I mean, it came back to trade above this 77-cent area, but I don't know if it's going to be able to hold on a weekly time frame. As you guys can tell, we have one of those rejection kind of moves from the candle, and instead of moving above and over this candle, we ended up closing doji for the week within this demand level, right, quote unquote demand level. So I don't know, man, but because of the way that we closed, I would like to see this be a supply level. I'm also very bearish on XRP, so I have no expectations from it. That's just what I think. You know, stay patient for those of you who are holding it, but I honestly, man, don't think XRP is a good hold right now. Let's go ahead and look at Celsius Doge. For those of you who like Doge, yeah, Doge is about to break this little channel. Next price is 8 cents in my opinion. I think we're gonna get to 8 cents with Doge. ETH, Bitcoin, we already spoke about that. Elon, Mana, right? So yeah, for those of you trading Decentraland, remember our target was $1.50. We failed to hit that during the past retracement, but we went ahead and we saw attempts to get back to this 3-day candle closure at around $3.60, whereas you can see we extended to it around $5 but closed that. So a big whale went ahead and sold at this level. Retail traders bought it up above this level, and then sellers didn't want it at these prices anymore. They wanted to sell out. So what happens now? Price begins to sell, right? Because essentially one big whale gets out after having bought in down here. All the other excited retail traders are buying at these price levels, but every other whale is saying, all right, price doesn't seem like it wants to go any higher. I'm going to go ahead and exit my position, right? Once we create new lows, right? So here's a low. We create a new structural low. Price pulls back to that same area where the whale exited, where most holders are, right, where most sellers are. And as buyers are excited, oh, rally, everything's going up, sellers are ready to just discharge on them and push that market price down, which is what we're seeing now. So as you can see here, the 3-day candle closed a very strong engulfing move, and we're now rejecting $2.93, probably making it to $2.40, more than likely making it to $1.50. So that's just my bias here on Mana. ADA USD, Cardano. I mean, I've told so many of my boys, yo, take your money out of Cardano. Nothing good in Cardano. They don't even have smart contracts. Rejected 160 here at this retracement level, at the 50% retracement level. Went ahead and rejected at the, actually, let me see how these are set up, because, yeah, no, this isn't right. Actually, yeah, this is right. Yeah, so this is the 50% retracement level we're rejecting, right? That it's rejecting it as a resistance. So it was once a possible support, but it's become a resistance. So resistance. Over here, we resisted the 61.8. Now the next one we can possibly touch is the 78.6, 67%. I don't even set up my charts on here. I only did like a quick little, move from the bottom to the top, because honestly, I don't really care for Cardano. But just from what I can tell, it's not wanting to hold any of these retracement levels and expand towards the upside. So it's just rejecting these levels and moving down. So yeah, if you're holding Cardano, best of luck to you. And that's pretty much it, guys. I think that's pretty much all that we have. Yeah, with the exception of OMI. So Ecomi, right back to that 1-day demand zone. We can probably hold here, maybe make our way up. We don't know yet, but I don't really have much to say about it other than, just be patient with OMI, because it is a good project for NFTs, and they are doing really cool stuff. They're actually a very profitable company. So as far as that, in that regard, they're doing very, very well. Yeah, guys, so I think that's pretty much it for today. It's been a really long video. I really hope you guys get to watch this, because this is a full market overview and my bias on the market. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me any questions in the community chat. I really appreciate every single one of you guys who are a part of this community and who participate every single day. So a big thank you to every single one of you. Let me see, am I forgetting anything? PulseX sacrifice phase is almost done. So make sure you guys go ahead and get your sacrifices in. Right now, it's one of the best times to sacrifice, because the 1.75 bonus is fixed. So for everybody who sacrificed before those days or within the first 5 days, if they weren't in the top 333, they got less than 1.75x. But if you are sacrificing today, that means you're going to get a 1.75x bonus regardless. So that's good for you guys. Go ahead and check that out, everybody. I appreciate you. See you on the next one. Take care.